Hey all, Chapadong here, Tuesday morning, June 29th. MLB made easy. I'm your buddy, your coach, your contributor at dfsarmy.com, and I come to you with an easy, repeatable system that we can follow each and every day and get set up for big slates, small slates, any size slates we want to play in MLB DFS. So we're not going to really hem and haw too much today. I'm going to turbo through this session, get it out to you, get it locked up in that article, and push it out. I have a beach outside my condo window to go hit, and we're eating lunch here inside the condo right now. We're going to go try and beat some rainfall. So I'm going to grab a couple of brewskis, and we're going to head out that door in a couple of minutes. So I want to show you how fast the system can actually be pulled off and get you set for today's slate. We start off here at the Fanduel Pitchers tab. We slide over to the Chop Shop. We sort top to bottom. And we're looking for big scores over 500. So anything over about Giolito's in play. Robbie Ray, Woodruff, Snell, Heaney, maybe Mejia if you're really interested. Pivetta had a good start last time out. Gausman, Velasquez. These guys all have strikeout potential. Now in terms of who we might want to take for a cash game pitcher, we're probably at the top. Robbie Ray's been fairly consistent. Woodruff's been okay. If you want to save a little bit of money, you are going to sacrifice some K-score, and that's important. I don't like to sacrifice K-score for a cash game. I'm looking for a high floor pitcher, somebody who consistently gets the job done, gets me 5-6 innings plus, quality start, all that good stuff. But then I'm also looking for the strikeout potential because that's everything in baseball, in DFS. I will come off of that if I can save significant price, but not usually for cash games. I'm usually doing that for tournaments to make a little bit of a pivot play. I'm usually on Fanduel especially paying up for pitchers. So it's probably one of these two guys. Gausman, I'm sacrificing too much of that K-score for that same salary. So he might be somebody in a tournament that makes a lot of sense because people are going to be more on Robbie Ray or Brandon Woodruff. But that's really all it takes to get your cash game stuff started right. You would look at an ownership report, maybe our MLB chalkboard, see if there's a big gap between that top owned pitcher and the next one down, and you would put more priority on that ownership in a pitching situation like a cash game in DFS baseball. It's really just not complicated. W score, I kick that down here. I look at about 650 and above, but I might consider some of these other pinks. And these are the teams I'm going to be stacking. I'm looking at the pitcher right now, so I have to look at his opponent to see who I'm going to stack. So I come over here and I'm looking generally at Velasquez and higher. So Miami, Cincinnati, Chicago, Colorado, LA, Toronto, Oakland. These are going to be the bats that I'm targeting for W score. What I really enjoy seeing is having a high implied run total, which you can find in our Domination Station Optimizer, a high implied run total, and a high Sierra with these guys. If I get a high implied run total out of Vegas, and we'll do a breakdown video of that here probably in another week or two, but if I get a high implied total out of Vegas and then a high Sierra for that opposing pitcher, it's kind of like a double green light, and this also works very well in terms of targeting your stacks. You may end up with somebody down here that doesn't hit the W score list like a Carlos Martinez, and you may want to stack against him, and that may have just as good odds, good potential to go off as a high W score guy. The W scores are interesting because they typically will put you on some forgotten teams, some lower owned plays, and it's showing that we've got a team hitting for a decent WOBA going up against a team or a pitcher that is allowing a large WOBA against. So those things combined make a lot of sense as well. We can use all of these in conjunction with each other, and as our systems always continue to evolve and change a little bit through the season, this puts us on a little bit better odds at nailing those top stacks, which is obviously what we want to do. But that, again, is all it takes to look for the pitchers and look for the stacks, write them down on a notepad, and keep moving. So I'm going to come to the Trends tab here, and I've sorted out my 7-day WOBAs in ISOs by 425 here and 250 here, and it got me a list of about 30 names or so. I sort these in alphabetical order so that I can match them up in the optimizer as I go. I've got a couple Arizonas, Atlanta, Baltimore, Boston, Chicago. I'm looking for multiple teams like Milwaukee. Milwaukee's running pretty hot right now. If they're running up against the type of pitcher that gives up a high WOBA or that matches our implied run total, high Sierra type situation, these guys are people that are going to carry a ton of weight in my stacks this night, tonight, this week, this slate, whatever you want to call it. San Diego would be another one to look for. Maybe some Texas. Texas coming off of a decent little run. Those are teams that I'm also looking for. And I'm going to just, like I said, I'm going to think my way through the slate. And I'm looking for these targets. And whichever ones, remember, In NFL, we do box checkers, where we look for running backs that get 20 plus touches, that get red zone work, that get goal line work, that catch passes, that are in an offense implied to score over 24 points on the week, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They're favored by more than 6 points. And we check those boxes. Check, 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 check. We're doing the same thing here in baseball. It's the same philosophy. We want high WOBAs against. We want high implied run totals. We want a pitcher with a high Sierra. We want weak bullpens. We want, an offense that's running a little bit hot right now. And it's just check, 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 check. Those that check the most boxes are the teams that we want the most exposure to, and then we're just going to mix them up in the optimizers, play different combinations off of those teams, and let it eat. That's how you win these tournaments. Is it going to work every night? No, but it's going to work more often than other systems, other ways that I have found to play over the years. So that's really all we're doing. You're going to put in a door in our optimizer or boosts in other optimizers on Escobar, Ahmed, Heredia, Mountcastle, Renfro, Happ, these guys, Willie Adams, Colton Wong. These are all good guys to target because right now they're swinging pretty hot bats. If you look at a Willie Adams, he's a 456 WOBA over the past 7 days. Colton Wong is a 524. That's getting the job done. They're going to come back down to earth. Their season-long numbers are pretty low. They're going to come back down to earth. But right now, while they're running hot, their production is outpacing their salaries in this game, and you're actually getting a little bit of value for them. You could argue 5,100 is not a value for Colton Wong over on Draftkings, but it is when he produces. And that's all we're looking for is indicators. What's the likelihood somebody's going to produce for us? And that is the system. Up and down, front and back, less than 7 minutes. You've got everything that I'm going to use to play with my optimizers later on this afternoon when I jam a few lineups out before I go grab some sort of a fresh seafood dinner here in vacation in Florida land. So I'm going to let you guys get back to your research. I'm just going to get this out to you quickly so that you guys can put this into part of your program and get started correctly and then add to this program as you go. Hopefully that helps you guys. It's been Tuesday, chopping on with DFS MLB Made Easy. I'm out of here. You guys have a good day.